Hello again, everybody. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Don't be a doofus. I was a doofus. I was trying to do our first live broadcast. And it seems on YouTube, if you're using a mobile device and you try to do your first live broadcast, there's a 24-hour delay before you're allowed to do so. So apologies, I was looking forward to answering some questions, interacting, and we will do that as soon as technology allows us to do so. And I got to thank my sister. I was about halfway through this recording and she stopped in to see me, and the doorbell was ringing and the dog was barking and I had to start all over, and she brought me a steak. So thanks, sis. It's the American Doofus Show, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Down at the bottom, there's a red button. You hit subscribe. I think there's a little bell beside it if you want to be notified when we're going live. We've been talking about leading up to Louisville. We had the weekly wrap on Sunday. That was 6 days to Louisville, and then Monday, day 5, it was 5 days to Louisville. Will be 5 days to war, and a lot of us are hoping and praying that's definitely not the case. But we've been kind of painting the picture of how it could happen. Day number 4, 4 days to Louisville. Who's going to be a hero? And that is going to play out through the rest of this the coming days as we lead up to Louisville. Who's going to want to be a hero? If you missed that episode, please go back and check it out. The Bible says, humble yourself before God and he will exalt you. The Bible also says, pride goeth before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Man has said, humble yourself or God will humble you, or humble yourself or the world will humble you. Let's look at the leaders of the groups that are going to be in Louisville on Saturday, September 5th. A brief catch-up. Saturday, September 5th is the Kentucky Derby, Churchill Downs, and it begins at 7:01 p.m. The actual coverage on TV starts around 2 o'clock, I think, and there are races, of course, leading up to the Derby. Groups that are going to be there, we know the media is going to be there, traditional media. It's the Kentucky Derby. Non-traditional media are going to be there. Live streamers, underground media, anarchists are going to be there. We touched on this last night. A group has put out a call to all anarchists. I'm hoping there's not a whole lot of them. I'm fearful that there may be way more than we think. And basically, September 5th is at their call to action, and basically that's burning things down. Antifa, there will be some members of Antifa there, the anti-fascist group that was founded in Germany in opposition to Adolf Hitler. The NFAC will be there, the one of only 4 militias in the country recognized by the Southern Poverty Law Center as a national militia. A man named the Angry Viking will be there, and his followers. We're going to label them the white militia for simplistic purposes. There's going to be a group there called United Pharaoh's Guard. That's a militia that has been guarding the protesters. The protesters have been protesting peacefully, I might add, in Louisville for 100 days. First couple of days, there was some problems. And you can go back and watch the footage on any of the Louisville live streamers. They're at hashtag 502 live streamers. And there's a group called FIRM, which stands for Formation in Racial Matters. And they have been basically leading the protests for the past 100 days until freedom. That is a national group that's had a presence in Louisville, and a lot of celebrities are involved in that. And then there's the what I'm going to call, for simplistic purposes, the Black Lives Matter movement. And if you saw The episode before this, the press conference with Pastor Tim Finley. Tim Finley is leading that group, and I think they're going to combine with Firm and a lot of other groups and have an absolutely massive protest like Louisville's never seen. Their concept, what they're wanting to do, the Black Lives Matter group, they're meeting at 4:30 at a park, South Central Park actually, just a couple of blocks away from Churchill Downs. And their plan is to basically, from what I understand, occupy the racetrack and make sure the Kentucky Derby doesn't happen. Make sure all the eyes of the whole world are going to be focused on Breonna Taylor. So, how humble are the leaders of these groups? The federal government's going to be there. U.S. Marshals are going to be there. The President of the United States, not humble. The mayor of Louisville police will be there. If anybody on here is from Louisville, you know that the Louisville police have not been humble in their actions. The Angry Viking's built better than I ever was. I used to have a pretty decent body back when I was a young kid and playing football and lifting weights all the time. But this guy wears this medium shirt, so you make sure you know he's jacked, racked, and stacked, and that's not humble. Grandmaster Jay, leader of the NFAC, talked about him a whole lot on this program. We've used a lot of different descriptions for Grandmaster Jay. Humble's never been one of them. The anarchists, by very definition, not humble. And Pastor Tim Finley, I believe, is a humble man, but he's going to have thousands and thousands of people behind him, and it's going to be tough for one person to maintain control of a group that size. My message is still stand down. My message to both militias is still stand down. But pride and ego are probably going to get in the way, and that's never going to happen. I'm going to try one more time. Everybody stand down. Look, here's a little secret. Home Depot is going to have this massive sale this weekend, okay? It's Labor Day weekend. There are so many other things you could do than be in Louisville, Kentucky, armed to the teeth, potentially coming into confrontation with each other. If not Home Depot, there are hundreds of Labor Day sales on all kinds of items, and I made absolutely no money off of that. I'm just trying to get everybody to see to stand down. Everybody just chill for a weekend. If only it were that easy. It's not. And something is going to happen if the anarchists have their way. Something's going to happen all across the country. So, 3 days to Louisville. The rules of engagement. The ROE. Now, usually in military terms, you have rules of engagement set out to your troops so they know how to handle themselves in situations. Usually it's something like, don't fire unless fire upon. Don't pull your weapon unless you intend to shoot. Use minimum force necessary to proportionally respond to the threat that's in front of you. And then there's urban guerrilla warfare. And if something were to break out in Louisville or Los Angeles, there was a police action shooting in Los Angeles. If something were to break out in Portland, in Kenosha, in Indianapolis, and anywhere, and it's urban guerrilla warfare, basically fighting in the streets, then you as citizens and myself and all we care about need some rules of engagement. So for citizens, here's my rules of engagement that I would advise to you. If you're a bystander or if you're a spectator, this is going to be history in Louisville on Saturday. No matter what happens, even if it's peaceful, it's going to be the two of the biggest militias ever to be in the same place at the same time within distance of confrontation. If you hear anything that sounds like gunfire near you, hit the ground. If you hear anything near you that sounds remotely like gunfire, hit the ground. Don't run. If you run, you make yourself a target. If you're surrounded by guns, you are at the mercy of those guns. Be careful where you place yourself and what's around you. Don't be alone. Be with at least one other person, if not in a group. Know where your car is. This is important. Know where your car is, and multiple regress routes, if you will, multiple ways to get back to your vehicle. If you're in urban guerrilla warfare, there is no law. There is little logic, and there's even less love. So stay away. And if you can't stay away, stay aware. Talked about anger last night and how you're angry either because you are wrong and you can't admit it, or somebody has wronged you. I want you all to think once again, if you've got anger in your heart, why? Why are you angry? And for the angry Viking, for those that call yourselves patriots, again, if you're a patriot, then you support the whole Constitution and the whole concept of America, and that includes freedom. It's not just one amendment. If all you're about is the Second Amendment, you're a gun nut, you're not a patriot. Nothing wrong with being a gun nut. I know a lot of gun collectors. They're good people as far as I know. I may find out different after this video. But in all seriousness, there's a big sale. Home Depot this weekend. It's going to be nice out, sunny. Maybe go to the lake. Maybe just lay outside and have an adult beverage. If you're going to be in Louisville, take care of yourself. Stay safe. Hopefully, I'm going to have a couple of people from Louisville on with me, but not promising anything, especially after what happened here with the live. And I got my hair cut today. I'm going to end with this. I got my hair cut today. I went back to the little town I used to live in, and the town I grew up in as a kid. And the same person cut my hair. She's been cutting my hair for years. Hello to the lovely Crips women, Virginia, Teresa, and Pammy, if you all happen to be watching. And I'm glad I did. I'm so glad I did, because it reminded me that there are a bunch of people that live in little small towns and have no idea what's happening in other areas of the country. And that's okay. That's okay. It really is. You're safe where you're at, for now anyway. Hopefully it stays that way. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm your host, Barry Walsh. Don't be a doofus. Be a light. It's a dark world. And remember, not just any little light. Be a freaking beam for the next few days. Okay? I love y'all.